Hey everybody, what's up? We're back. It's those wrestling girls. It's your girl Krista B.
And Queen PR.
And today we have a spotlight episode. And before we get to that, P, your favorite line, please.
I am excited about this episode because people have been telling us to do this episode
forever. Forever.
Yeah.
So today we're spotlighting P, your shirt.
Ember Moon.
Ember Moon. And again,
the war goddess.
Again, she has yet to tell me what shirt to wear because I have that same shirt.
I mean, I was like, we're doing Ember Moon, so I was just like,
it was a lot of rescheduling.
I was like, I know exactly what shirt I'm wearing. It was clean too. I was like, oh, nice.
It was a lot of rescheduling we had going on, but
it's been crazy for us.
Yeah, it's been crazy for us, but
we have a lot of good stuff coming too.
Definitely have a lot. Actually, nope, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
Just gonna have to wait for it.
Yep.
But let's jump right into Ember Moon because our Twitter followers, have been literally like spotlight Ember Moon.
Yep.
And so let's just go into it.
So I wanted to do Ember Moon as well because she's one of those people who I feel like has everything that it takes.
Yes.
And I think when she came to the main roster, I think people had high expectations. Mm-hmm. And it can be said that it hasn't really matched up to that hype.
Right.
So I just kind of wanted to talk about that, mainly her time on the main roster and like what can happen to kind of make that run a little bit better, or if she's on the right track, or I'm interested to see what you think. But let's go through kind of like her time in the company.
Okay.
So we all know her on the independent circuit as Athena. So she competed in Shimmer Women Athletes, Women Superstars Uncensored, Inspire Pro Wrestling, Anarchy Championship Wrestling, and she was trained by Booker T,
of course,
in his wrestling school. So that's really dope. And she's one of those people that's been like a long time fan of wrestling. Like she told her parents she was going to be a wrestler, and they were like,
yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. And she was one of those people that her passion just like led her to do that, and she would drive crazy miles just to like be in Booker T's school. So she's one of those that always had the passion.
Right. She's definitely one of those that had the passion, and I feel like the first time I laid my eyes on Ember Moon, I was completely mesmerized.
Same.
Because she's one, a woman of color. Two, mm-hmm. She was just so different.
Yeah. The
colored hair, the contacts, the yelling. It was like she was so punk rock, and she was unapologetic about it. Definitely. She was like so strong. And then I first laid eyes on her. Like I heard about her on an NZ circuit. Of course, I heard about her in NXT. Mm-hmm. But I've always like my first real thing of her capturing me or enticing mm-hmm. me was when she popped up at Royal Rumble, and her whole shoulder or arm was like messed up, and she was bandaged up, and she hit eclipses. Like she did a lot.
We're definitely gonna get to when
I'm
she.
jumping again. I'm
sorry. No, because that was one kind of like I became like an Ember Moon fan, right? Too.
Like
so, like I totally understand. So when she did finally get to NXT, and when I was doing my research on her, it was interesting now in retrospect that she made her television debut after some vignettes at a takeover in Brooklyn against Billie Kay.
Brooklyn stands.
Yes.
Brooklyn has like the best takeovers.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not saying that because I'm from Brooklyn.
But
it's seriously
true.
Like
a lot of iconic
Sasha and Bailey's
there.
match.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Ember.
Yeah, but so then she was actually on a winning streak for a while after she debuted, even in tag team matches. And then guess who broke her streak in NXT?
Asuka.
Yes,
of course.
So she lost to Asuka, who was the champion at the time, and we know Asuka was in the middle of her own epic winning streak, and she was very powerful in NXT. Like she came to NXT and like shut it down, basically. So and then Ember Moon actually got the title from Baszler. So her and Baszler had like a nice little back and forth. But a lot of people remember her time in NXT with her feud against Asuka.
Yeah, that if you recall Ember Moon in NXT for any other reason, then I'll be like, damn, well, thank you for shutting me up. But for you to catch her and know the feud between her and Asuka, Lord, like I didn't even think it could get any better than the 4 horsewomen feuding with each other, or even just Bailey and Sasha feuding with each other.
I agree.
But I was just like, damn, like this is good. Like, yo.
Yeah.
Like,
it was good.
It was amazing.
Because I was kind of afraid, like, when Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte went to the main roster, I was like, what's going to happen to the women's division in NXT? And then Asuka came, and then it kind of reinvigorated, for me at least, like, reinvigorated for me, because I was like, yo, Asuka is believable to have, like, beat all these people. And it wasn't until well, maybe Nikki Cross, but when Ember Moon were feuding, that's when the matches made it seem like maybe somebody is capable of breaking Asuka's streak. Like, she just does things in the ring that's just like, how in the world
does she do it?
Do you do it?
Like, I'm somewhat scared of having, or very apprehensive of when other people get called up, because we see it happen a lot. Like, these women, even the men, are pigeonholed, and they was like so good on NXT. Like, Ember came up, that pop that she had with Royal Rumble when her music hit or whatever, and then she came up to the main roster. She was doing good for a little bit, and then she got hurt, so she was out, and then she comes back, and it's just like, I was surprised her music hit on SmackDown.
I was too, but before we get to her on the main roster, I want to talk about what it meant before she got there. Like, what, because again, like you said, she's a woman of color, so I don't know, it was cool, like, after Sasha, to see somebody like Ember, like, make such an impact.
Ember is one of the epitomes of representation, because not only is she a woman of color, like, she's very relatable. I feel like if you and Ember was in an episode of Ride Along, we'll be definitely playing not only just hip hop and R&B music, but all the punk rock,
she's definitely different.
Paramore, Avril Lavigne, Nickelback, all those type of artists too, because that's how I feel like that's what she listens to. Yeah. And I ain't mad at it. I got it on my phone right now. Yeah. Shoot. But she's very relatable. So for me, it was like a breath of fresh air.
It totally was.
And it doesn't, and it kind of broke that stigma of every black person, every black girl has that attitude, eye rolling, neck rolling.
I can have color hair
and still
contact
and still be cute and still be very presentable and still whip your ass.
Yeah. Yes.
Period.
Yes. Let's talk about her finisher, the Eclipse.
Oh, I love that.
Because it's argued that that's like one of the best finishers.
And they're right.
Ever.
Those who believe that, they're right. That's one of the best. Because off the top rope, you grabbing somebody by the neck. Whew. It's like a springboard stunner in a sense, like whatever, like a springboard somersault stunner or whatever. Good. It's really, really good. Like, I'll be scared to be
and then certain times when people take it, like Mickie James,
she sells
like it. It's just like it's so well executed. Sometimes I'm just like, oh my god, and she like hits it everywhere.
Like, she just hit it off the side of the apron against Lacey Evans last night on SmackDown.
Didn't see that coming.
Me neither. I was washing dishes. And I'm looking over and I'm like, oh. I'm like, they need to replay that, like, right now.
No, seriously. And how dope was it? So after her takeover match with Baszler, unfortunately, she lost the title. But how dope was it the next night for her to then be in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble in a cast? That was amazing.
I think that's what drew me in, because the fact that, first of all, she did hit an Eclipse there.
Yep. I don't even know with one arm.
Right.
One arm. That's when I was like, oh shit.
I'm like, okay, you better go ahead, girl.
Yeah.
That's I'm like, I feel like when you're in NXT, they push you to that limit to where you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like the women on the main roster, like, a lot of people are injured and hurt, and sometimes they work through it, sometimes they don't, or they can't. And for Ember, I don't like pain. I think that's why another reason why I'm not a wrestler. I don't like pain.
Same.
Even though it's practiced and you practice your moves or whatever,
you're still putting your body through a lot.
I'm not taking no bump. I take a bump, I'm laying there.
Yeah.
Crying. Yeah. No, I'm not crying, but so for Ember to have, like, I think it was a separated shoulder or something to that effect, and for her to still come in the Royal Rumble, for her to still hit Eclipses, for her to fight and battle with one arm. Who else does that?
Yeah, she definitely made an impact for me. Like, you could go back in her career and be like, yo, the first time she was in a main pay-per-view in WWE, like, she made an impact. And then her standoff with Asuka, like, that just is like oh my God. Like, because if you know about their history. And then, of course, she was ultimately eliminated by Asuka.
Right. Which also drew for attention, like, okay, because when them two was face to face with each other, I believe they was face to face with each other for that little standoff. And the pop, it was just like, oh, what am I watching?
Yeah.
And it was for the first time I didn't compare it to a male from Attitude Era.
Yeah.
During that pop.
I was like, this is their own
This is
thing.
their moment.
Yeah.
We compare a lot to the guys.
Yeah, we do.
But that moment, I was just like, yo, like.
That was so cool.
And it was representation because it was two different people from two different cultures.
Yeah.
Face to face.
Yeah. And they were.
And who were actually fucking good.
Yeah.
At what they do.
Really, really good. And who knows, like, feuds like that, they always have the potential to just, like, come back into the, into the repertoire. Like, look how it was a long time before they put Sasha and Bailey back in the same, like, universe with each other again. And that can even pop off at any point. So who knows where that can go.
You want to happen.
Nah, I'm good for now, surprisingly. I think Bailey's turn kind of, like, pacify me for a little bit.
Thank God.
It did. So then the other cool thing is then she later in 2018 debuted after WrestleMania.
Yes, she did.
Everybody knows WrestleMania Mondays is a big thing in WWE. So for her, again, another highlight. And that's why I like our Spotlight episodes, because it's also about feeling like we need to represent people that don't get enough shine and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's a way to put their accolades back out there. So like Ember debuting on the main roster after like let's Paige won the title and debuted after WrestleMania. So WrestleMania Monday is a big thing. So I think it's cool that that's when she debuted against Nia Jax actually chose her to be her partner.
She did. I remember. Yes, I remember. So cool. Heard the music. I remember my aunt, and this is a funny story. So I'm in the kitchen watching wrestling. Everybody knows in my household Monday and Tuesdays you do not bother me.
Yes.
So I'm watching it, and of course I'm making noise. It hears, Krista, stop making all that noise. I'm like, but Ma. So my aunt comes in the kitchen, and she's watching it with me, and she sees Ember, and she goes, she's like, wait, what? She thick, huh? I'm like, but both of them are. And she was like, but I'm like, but watch her. So she was watching her, and she goes, okay. Nice. Okay, I mean, and my aunt does not watch wrestling no more. Like, she's just on some. I used to watch this way back when, and I'm just like, all right, but watch, the women are different now.
Yeah.
And she was I said, so what do you think? She goes, it was good. It was good. Like, she was more so impressed with like the fact that one, you have a black girl up there too.
Yeah.
Two, the fact that she was moving the way she's moving. Three, the way that she's just like putting these people out and taking them hits or whatever. And the only part she was really worried about was just like, why is she yelling? Like, why she have great context? Or why she's making that face? Yeah. But, she's older, so she's really not going to understand, like, the character behind her. Like, But she was really impressed with the fact that Ember was sitting there holding her own as a woman, because she grew up way back when where women she's a part of that era where women weren't really taken seriously. And then when me and my brother and my sister and my cousins were watching during Attitude Era, you had the women was looking like sex symbols and things like that. So for her to see that come full circle, I said,
I'm sure she really liked that.
And I told her, I said, this is why we do our podcast, or this is why this is when we was in the make talks. I'm like, we want to do a podcast on this because women aren't showcased as this no more. And she was like, well, if you want to do it, then do it. Nice. After seeing that, I was just like, but she still won't watch wrestling.
But at least she got to see the evolution of women. And that's what I like. I'm glad that you said, like, oh, she's thick, because she is. And she's not skinny. She doesn't look like like you said, like, she's unique. She doesn't look like anyone else on the roster, like, at all. And I want to talk later too at some point about her reception on social media from people and about like her image and stuff like that later on. But then she was also in the first ever women's ladder, the Money in the Bank ladder match. She didn't end up winning, but I think that was another moment where she made an impact. Like, people who didn't, because that's the other thing about call-ups, is that like a lot of people just watch WWE. Like they don't watch NXT. Like, what if they don't even have the network? They're just like, oh, okay, I just watch it on TV every week. So when the call-ups come up, a lot of people are not always familiar with everybody. So I feel like moments like the Royal Rumble or her debuting after WrestleMania and then this ladder match, like I feel like those are moments where it's like, oh, that's like they get to know who Ember Moon is, and then she can like show people. And I think because she can fly off of stuff, like she's just amazing, you know.
If the women, if they had a 205 live for the women, Ember would definitely be in it.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Agreed. And I'm sorry, that wasn't the first Money in the Bank ladder match. That was the second.
The second one.
Bad.
Hands down. She would definitely be. She would be like the Neville of 205 live women.
I love that.
Yeah. Because
I love that.
I just passed Madison Square, and I just remember when Neville first came out, and this girl was yelling at the top of her lungs for him.
Oh my God.
Like all the way up. And I'm just like, sis.
Oh, you like Neville, huh?
Right. Like, we get it. Stop yelling. But yeah, she would definitely be like the Neville of 205, because Neville was amazing.
Yeah, he really was. He really, really was. When I think of Neville, I think of abs. But
all right, it's not the time for it.
No, not in a sexual way, but they're just like
I know, because I was about to go in and be like, well, who abs would you? That's I'm like, it's not the time for it.
Sorry.
No, but you're right.
Sorry.
You're right.
But yeah, I think she made an impact in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and she had matches here with them. But then I think Evolution last year.
Oh my
is
gosh.
when I saw the kind of change in how WWE Universe was like for Ember. Because we were there at Evolution.
we were there. We were there.
Thank God it was in New York.
Right? Yes. Okay. So, and it was crazy because, well, let's take it back. Was she at SummerSlam? Was Ember at SummerSlam?
She didn't do anything particular at SummerSlam.
So, we've been to SummerSlam, and we've been...
no, you have been to SummerSlam.
You wasn't with me in SummerSlam?
No, I've never been to SummerSlam.
You was with me in spirit. Okay.
Yes.
So we. So even if a regular New York show, the Bellas are always, receive that huge pop.
Yes.
Last year. Last year.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Crazy. It was reversed. Like, the Bellas came straight booze. I'm like, wait, what? That Raw, you came to Raw.
Yes.
They was there again. Booze.
Yeah.
What the?
We was like the Bellas.
The Bellas. And then around this time, Ember was still kind of injured.
Yeah.
So, but she was like, I think they was doing vignettes or something to her coming back. So now we get to Long Island because the Bellas had to fight Ronda. Yeah. Or Nikki had to fight Ronda. And nobody was really there for that. Like, everybody was just cheering Ember. Ember music hit. Yeah. When I say deafening.
Yeah, people was really
like, me and P were sitting back like, wait a minute.
Of course, we were like Ember fans, but we were just like, oh, like, it was like a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Because that's the fun thing about live shows, too, is like, whatever the commentators are saying with who they want us to like is whatever, but the live crowd is like when you really see like who people are for.
They're the real influence.
And then the Battle Royal, which at first I was kind of like, oh God, they're just going to group the women together. But then it ended up being like really dope.
It was super lit. I think I'm going to go home and watch that again.
Right. So they had the old time. I shouldn't say old. They had
the legends.
The legends come. And so long story short, the last 3 people in, if I'm not mistaken, were Zelina Vega, Nia Jax, and Ember Moon. So speaking of representation, that was really cool. Cause you
had a Hispanic woman.
Yep.
You had an African-American woman, and you had a woman of Samoan culture.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
That was a dope representation.
And people were for Ember. Like, out of the 3 of them, like, people were like stomping. Their feet, like,
I was about to say,
Ember.
Like, the building was shaking.
Yeah,
we were like, literally shaking.
Shit, people's really here for Ember.
Literally shaking. She didn't win though.
No, and at that time, Nia was still like, people were still really in love with Nia too. So it was definitely like, people were happy Nia won, but we were happy to see also the support for Ember, and she put on a good show, I think, that night too.
Yeah,
and then everything about Nia Jax changed only like a month later and gearing up for the Survivor Series, but. I think Nia won like a championship opportunity or something like that for the Battle Royal, but it was good. That was a good moment for Ember too, because it really showed the fans like really like supporting her, which I liked. And I think a lot of people, especially ones that have been following her on the independent circuit, kind of been waiting for that. They kind of been like, oh, I've been cheering for Ember, but I think she gained a lot of new fans that night. And then she got injured. Actually, I didn't realize. So then the next Royal Rumble comes up. So that's her notable next thing in 2019. And this is her coming back after an injury.
Another injury.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then she actually gets injured again. But anyway, so
Ember.
so she's in the Royal Rumble this year. This year's Royal Rumble was definitely the Becky show. People were literally like just waiting for her to show up the whole time. But
because Becky fought twice that night.
She did. And she came back out. But Ember entered at number 6, and she lasted 52 minutes.
That's good.
That's almost like an hour.
Almost an hour.
Natty made the record. She lasted the longest. And before that, Sasha Banks had the longest. But that's a long time
that is a
to
long
be
time.
wrestling for an hour, preventing people from putting you over the top rope. Imagine how tired she was after that.
Spaghetti legs.
Right. And she got eliminated by one of her best friends, Alexa Bliss. And that was Alexa Bliss coming back from an injury.
Injury
for a
as
while,
well.
too. And they put on a really good match. Like, Alexa Bliss was on fire.
That
I mean,
would
not
be
match, but like a
That would be a
face-off.
good match. Alexa and Ember.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if we've seen it on the main roster yet. I can't recall. Probably in NXT.
Yeah.
No, not NXT. Alexa was already called up.
Gone, yeah. But that would be good. What y'all think about that?
Let
Alexa
us
Bliss
know.
versus Ember Moon.
Let us know.
Let me know. Yeah, actually, I never ever thought about it, but that actually would be.
And you're
a
all
really
here
good
for
feud.
best friends turning on each other. They
I
don't
know,
even portray their
right?
best friends on
That's true.
on
That's
TV,
true.
but that would be a good ass match. Like, and we already know how I feel about Alexa Bliss, but
Yes,
I give credit when credit is due.
yes, it was good. And then she's injured in that match actually too, and then she's gone for a while, but then she returns for WrestleMania 35 Battle Royal and the pre-show, and then she's eliminated by Lana. But it was good to have Ember Moon back.
It was.
She looked very good and refreshed.
So I was at WrestleMania 35 this year.
Whoop, whoop.
And unfortunately, did I see the women? No, unfortunately, I did not see the women because we were all parking and whatnot.
It's probably insane.
It was insane. But I did hear Ember's music,
Nice.
and I did hear the crowd go crazy. Like,
Nice.
in the words of Triple H, it'll be in the stadium, and if we'll blow the roof off of it, if it had a roof, and that's what happened with Ember. And then it was an even louder pop when Lana eliminated her.
They were booing, or they were upset.
It was a mixture, but I
Okay.
felt like I saw heard more cheers than boos.
Interesting.
So I'm just like, wait a
Do you
minute,
think
what
that's
happened?
a pro Lana situation or against Ember Moon type situation?
Well, you have to. No, I think it was like because the whole Lana is the best. She's that.
She was pretty popular.
Yeah, so I
at
feel
that
like
point.
that's what that was about. It was
Yeah.
no shade towards Ember at all.
Got you.
I just feel like, oh, okay. Well, I'm just like, how you let Lana
right.
eliminate
I
Ember?
miss Lana.
I mean,
should we do a spotlight episode on Lana? Let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was just gonna say something. I'm about to say nope.
Cool.
But yeah, so to hear that or whatever, but I know I went back and rewatched the pre-show. Amber
Killed it.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That's it.
She is amazing. And then she is, at this point, she was always on Raw when she got moved up, which felt right for some reason. And then in the draft after WrestleMania, she was moved to SmackDown. Now, we all know the brands end up not
I feel like
even mattering.
SmackDown feels more right for
Really?
Ember than Raw for whatever reason. I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
why. And it's not like, you know how they peg SmackDown as the B rated show. It's not
Yeah.
because she's B rated. I just feel like for some reason SmackDown is a fit for her. Because when Shane got there, I'm not gonna lie, he was doing a lot more with the women than Raw was. So, and
I agree.
Yeah, so
I agree.
when we did see Ember a lot more before Shane decided to become the best in the world and all this other nonsense, but he was doing more with Ember and with Asuka and with Charlotte and Carmella. Like, he was doing more with them, and then it just went to shit.
Yeah. Yes. So then in the summer, she mainly was kind of feuding with like Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And we've talked about this storyline. And so she was depicted as kind of like the nerdy, like I'm sitting in the back reading
The nerdy
comic
loner.
books. And then they're like the mean girls that come and like bully her for that. How did you, now I was happy to see Ember on TV. I'm sure a lot of people were.
Right.
But how did you feel about that particular storyline?
Damn, what I want to say, I really can't say. I felt like that storyline, it was very insensitive because I feel like it plays off of those in real life who were bullied by the mean people or the mean girls or whatever, and then those who potentially do harm to others because they're bullied. So I feel like at the time it was very insensitive, especially going back to how all these people are on the news, or I don't want to mention like school shootings and stuff, but essentially that's what it kind of stems from. So I felt like it was insensitive. I felt like, I'm not gonna say it was racist because it wasn't. Of course, they all have to agree to something, but I just feel like they was just trying so hard to find something to do with all three of them, and then it wasn't using them wisely.
It didn't seem like it clicked.
Right.
Yeah. Like I think there's potential because Ember Moon can stand for that person that feels like the outsider, or the black girl that does like punk rock, or feels like they're different or whatever. But it just didn't fit for me, only because of Ember Moon's goddess, like war goddess type character. Like for me, she seemed fearless and, unapologetic, like you said before. So it just didn't fit to me that she was just like in the back, like the timid.
I just feel like if they were going to use I feel like they should have pegged it better. So you know how, sorry to compare, Finn Balor. But then when you keep pushing his buttons, he becomes the demon. So I feel like with Ember, it should have been Ember's Ember. You keep fucking with her, something's going to happen. You keep fucking with her, and then, you don't stop when she's warning you. Okay, cool. Now the war goddess is coming out. They should have did that. They didn't do that. So it just made it really insensitive to playing off of that. And poor judgment for me. Like it just wasn't what I thought it would have should have been.
Yeah, and I think it had a little bit of potential, but it didn't really work for me. Like they had like a couple singles matches, and then Ember lost both of them to Mandy and to Sonya. So it kind of just felt like, all right, well, if the point was that like the good guy would win, she didn't.
Right, and that's one thing that she kept losing. That's why I'm like, also,
why are we doing this again?
It's not like the hero wins.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like it's more insensitive, because if she's gonna be bullied, then let her be bullied.
Yeah.
But let her also defend herself and whip they ass.
Exactly. So she didn't end up beating them until she teamed up with Bailey.
And then
she beat them.
And then it's just like, so I need somebody to carry me. Like, bruh.
And at this point, Bailey's a SmackDown champion. So I did see this as an opening for Ember, though, teaming up with Bailey.
An opening just for it to be closed right back again.
But then Bailey chose her to be her SummerSlam opponent.
Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah.
That match was awesome.
That was cool. I would, because then I was like, all right, this is a cool, like, Bailey, like, I respect you so much. I want the best competition for this match.
Right.
I choose Ember. So that
I did
really dope.
Respect Bailey for that. I really did. Because I'm just like, oh my gosh. I just feel like, and sorry to compare again, it was like that Roman Finn Balor segment. Like when Finn Balor was the first person to ever win the Universal Champion, then he had to give it up because his shoulder. And Roman was like, if I'm going to fight anybody, I'm going to fight Finn. Yeah. So I feel like Bailey was that same way.
She's like I feel like she feels like she's the best, and she wants to challenge the best. And I do like that Bailey always shouts out the rest of the SmackDown Women's roster. Like she's always like, still maybe in a different tone, Zelina. But like she'll have a good match with someone, and Bailey will be like, okay, well, what about Liv? What about her? Which I think is cool. And so she called out Ember, and they ended up having a great SummerSlam match. So you have Ember now has a SummerSlam moment. Like that's just as dope as having a WrestleMania moment, especially against somebody like Bailey. And then I don't think anyone expected them not to put on a good match. So I think that was a really dope. But then I don't know, it fizzled for me after that. Like Ember Moon's whole like
I think it fizzled for everybody.
And then also we got to remember who came back after SummerSlam and kind of took the whole energy out of everyone else, and Sasha Banks coming back the Monday after SummerSlam. So, and then of course they associated Bailey right back with Sasha, and then for the 4 Horsewomen she's with Charlotte. So
like you only saw Ember trying to be like, Bailey, what are you doing? Like,
I like that segment.
I liked it too, but I wish they would have done more.
Yeah.
Like I said, if Bailey was to do this whole delusional thing, which I love. I'm a role model. I'm doing this for everybody in the women's division, but then you go and you turn and you know, and you got people trying to snap you out of it or whatever. That'll make something good for TV. Something like The Fiend. Even I can't stand that character. Oh. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But it will work. And then, you know, something.
I think Ember.
Can we just say for the record?
What's up?
WWE cut my check. Because my creative ideas is just flowing. And one day you're going to see this video. And I'm telling you, my phone and my email better be popping off. You hear me?
I think what can be done for Ember at this point, because now we're at this point where they kind of teased it a little bit back with like Becky and Ember, and there's still no match yet for Hell in a Cell, but
Becky and Ember
for I'm sorry, not Becky and Ember, Bailey.
Oh, I'm gonna say, wait, what did I miss?
Bailey, I'm so sorry. They had that one match and that little like, but what can be done with Ember now? Like, what can get people like into her right now?
Listen, I spill these creative juices. Somebody gonna pay me. No. What I feel can be done with Ember, I just feel like she can. It's not even her. I just feel like she just needs a better creative system
for her character.
For her character, I feel like bring Athena back. Like let Ember be Ember. Let her fight when she fights, but. Bring Athena back. It's okay for a woman to have a double alter ego. The men have it all the time. Like there's Mick Foley had 3.
Yeah.
Like
and Stone she Cold backs it up in the ring. So.
Right, she backs up in the ring. So if you peg her as Athena, like she still comes out, she's the war goddess. She's peg her as Athena. Let her do what she was doing in NXT or in the indie circuit. I bet you she's going to put half, if not all, the women in that women's division on their ass. She shouldn't be running around for the 24/7 championship.
I don't think so either. And I think she should. So someone had said on Twitter, and we'll get some more people's input on Ember Moon, and they were saying how there should be an equivalent to the Intercontinental Championship in the women's division. And since that always refer like the ones that are like the really good ones in the ring, like they may not be in the championship, like the world championship picture, but they're really good. And Ember Moon should be one of the first to hold it because she's one of those people where it's just like in the ring.
I agree.
She says everything that, that she says everything that she needs to say about her potential. So I put on our Twitter, make sure you follow us.
Shameless plug.
What we should say about Ember Moon. A lot of people were saying they don't argue her ability in the ring, but a lot of people talked about her mic skills. How do you feel about her mic skills, Krista?
It's painful to watch.
Really?
Okay. But I feel like a lot of the women don't have great mic skills unless they're calling somebody a bitch. Like Becky on the mic. Becky on the mic before and Becky on the mic now?
Yeah. She's definitely more comfortable in her skin. And yeah, it's like I feel like it's the tone that she would want. I feel like the other women are probably so scripted, like their promos are probably so scripted that they're just like reading off of like lines,
right?
And
it's not authentic. It's not natural. Like you're not making it your own. Yeah, you're not doing it. Like Charlotte on the mic.
Oh yeah,
from day one, hands down,
she's great. And Sasha.
We're not gonna touch Bailey. Yeah, I feel like Ember, but my thing is that Ember's barely on the mic as well.
True.
So we really don't know how good she is with her mic skills if she's barely on something. But I wouldn't put her in the same category as Natty.
Oh, no.
Because Natty is not a good...
I love you, girl. But
yeah, we got to practice.
Should we do a spotlight episode on Natalia?
She should just come to Brooklyn so we could teach her some mic skills.
Yeah, I guess some people just don't have it. Like like you said, I would not put Ember in the Natty category, but I'm very intrigued by what you said before about her being like her goddess persona being like the Hulk. Like
it should be the mouthpiece for her.
Yeah, like don't get Ember angry. Don't get Ember angry. She's gonna turn into this person kind of thing. And does that person have to talk? Like, what if she's just like, like I just come in the ring like
all action, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if I feel like if WWE lets the characters or lets these wrestlers be who they are on the mic, it would be gold. Like, sorry to compare to the men again, but that's what happened to The Rock. Because remember when he first came out,
be themselves.
Right, Rock was like, once I picked up that microphone, I was saying something I wasn't supposed to be saying. Shawn Michaels too.
Yeah.
Triple H too.
They don't have even close to that much freedom.
Right.
Like, I feel like every little thing is, especially with the women, because it's just so like, they probably feel like they don't have what it takes to go on their own. I could just be speculating. So it's
they
like,
don't
I have to write for them.
Or because they're a woman shouldn't be saying this, or a woman shouldn't be
like
saying
that. Like, I feel like the only one that seems natural, like,
is Becky and Charlotte.
Yeah, that their promos aren't written for them is Charlotte and Becky, like you said. And Sasha just has so much attitude that even if she is, like, I just feel like she, and I think she believes a lot of what she's saying too. But back to Ember, like you said, I don't think she's had enough opportunities to be herself.
Right. Me neither.
I think a lot of the times it's just like, I'm just, you know, proud to be here and just, I'm going to show you guys what I have and like kind of attitude. But it's never her just like being herself, you know? I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know. So I want to read what Jake
Hi, Jake.
said and sent into us about Ember Moon, and then I want to go into her last match on SmackDown with Lacey Evans after this.
Okay.
So I asked him, he's probably Ember Moon's, that's his favorite wrestler.
His favorite wrestler is
actually
Ember Moon.
He has like a stand up in his game room and everything. And I asked him, like, what is Ember Moon's potential on the main roster? And he says, honestly, the sky's the limit for her. She's one of the most talented women on the roster and definitely deserves a title run. But she seems grateful to have a spot on the roster and does whatever is asked. She's a trooper and definitely will have gold one day. Her time will come. So I was like, okay, but what makes Ember Moon different? And I agree with what he said.
Yeah.
He said her look is definitely different. Her passion definitely stands out. Same with her personality. Oh, and her finisher is far superior than any other female on the roster.
She has the best finisher.
The Eclipse
ever.
is beautiful, beautiful,
like,
beautiful.
Ever.
Yeah. That's one of those moves, like 20 years from now, like women wrestlers going to be like, this is a variation of the Eclipse because it was just so good. Like how everyone's doing variations of the stunner. Well, I guess it's a variation of the stunner, but I think that's a finisher that's going to really stand out in time. Like, I think it's like one of the best in the women's division. So before we get to that match, it's 9:00, but they're not there. So, I noticed that a lot of people on Twitter criticize her look. And when I say her look, but specifically her hair. Now, as a Black woman, our journey with our hair has been a journey. Let's just put it that way. And I felt like we had gotten to a point where we were more acceptable of different types of hair, different textures, different styles. However you want to wear your hair, wear your hair. But there is a lot of criticism about her physical appearance online. And it comes from mostly Black women.
Okay, so I don't know if you're going to kill me when I say this. Ember's hair for me has been quite of an issue.
Okay.
Because of the fact I feel like there are no hairstylists in the back who can actually do a person of color's hair. Those braids onto the side and then Bianca be like, honey. Like, no. Like, you need somebody who's good at doing weaves or braids or whatever the case, because that looks crazy. And then I remember one time she had the same hairstyle and for weeks.
But what if that's the intention? Like, what if
that's the
because
intention?
Clearly they have a glam squad. Like, they always all look fabulous.
But my thing is that if you have a glam squad, right, and you want, even if your intention is to have those braids or to have that color. I don't mind the color. I love the fiery red, the orange.
Me too.
It's just somehow you style it.
It's been looking better lately. The last couple of weeks, like it's been looking like more
presentable,
like an intentional hairstyle, as opposed to like I took half my braids out and I don't know what to really do.
Right, and then you'd have to go on TV, and then first of all, the fact that these women fight with their hair out and down, knowing you have to pull hair, whatever. I don't see why that's even happening. Like, because my ability is in my fist and in my moves. It's not in my hair. Unless it's Bianca Belair, where I'm using my hair as a weapon.
Like that they have more effort in their like appearance.
Yes,
and
of
stuff
course.
Like that.
I love that too. But I
cool.
feel like don't let some of the women have this effort and not all of them, because sometimes they make Ember look crazy, and I'm just like, yo, come on. And I know it's not her. I know it's them. Like how it's done. Like
see, there's a part of me that feels like she didn't want it to look perfect. And that's the thing that I'm just like, why is her hair such a thing? You know what I mean? Like, why is that? Because it's not maybe like perfect and, you know, like laid like Naomi's or like completely straight or whatever the case may be. Why is that an issue when people talk about Ember Moon?
Because
you know what I mean?
I feel like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like the style is nice in itself, but I feel like I just personally feel like the way it's braided, the way that it's braided, like it looked like somebody who just, you know, when you were younger and you had a doll head or whatever, you tried to braid hair, and instead of the braids being real tight knit together,
like
they're kind of loose.
Top of like,
yes, that's what I feel like. The person who did her braids does not know how to braid, and they did something, and they probably put something towards the end so it won't come out, and then they didn't even try to comb the side that was out. All right, you're done, go. Don't rush your job. If black women are not anything else, they are about their hair. That's what kind of makes us, whether it's natural, it's straight, it's coily, it's curly, it's 4C to 4A, it's 3A to, we are about our hair. Like, there's been times, you know, me and P will come on here and be like, yo, our hair looks crazy. We in the back gelling it up, edging it down, whatever. We're in braids. Our hair is a part of us. So I feel like that's why it's a lot of criticism. I don't feel like the criticism is intentionally for her, because who is she to say to Vince or to whoever?
I think we're putting, because we don't know what goes on back there. Like, we don't know if Ember Moon is just like, okay, this is how I like my hair. Like, I'd rather do it myself. Like, we don't know if these are her choices. You know what I mean?
And that's why I'm like, the criticism shouldn't go to her if we don't know if it's her choice.
And then it's just unfortunate for me, like, as a black woman, like, if I'm Ember Moon, like, as a black woman, it's like I go on Twitter, and if there's you know how they do like gifs, like thoughts on Ember Moon, it's unfortunate that most of those comments from black women are about her hair. Is what I'm trying to say. It's just like, why is that? You know, because you know, I went to school upstate. Like, I know the black girls up there. The black women that you're talking about don't exist up there. They're more like Ember Moon, and I've seen their hair look similar, and it's intentional.
Right.
So then I'm like, you know, I just think someone's so good in the ring. I feel like her look is talked about way too much. Right. You know what I mean? But then we're talking about the beast of Twitter. So then I would love to just like real quick talk about the match that she had with Lacey Evans and how I think she, again, made an impact. Although Lacey Evans is Lacey Evans
with that weak ass punch.
Yes, and I was so upset that she got the pin because I thought this was like the start of like
Ember's
maybe
journey.
Ember momentum. But SmackDown's going to be on Fox. She could be drafted to SmackDown. I feel like anyone on SmackDown is going to be treated very special. So hopefully she gets drafted to SmackDown. And that's what I think could revitalize her. So let us know your thoughts on Ember Moon.
Okay.
What makes her special? Why does she need more spotlight? And if she doesn't, let us know that too in the comments.
I mean, P kind of said everything. I let her take this episode today because I know how she feels more about Ember Moon. But yeah, stop picking on her hair. Look at the fact that she can wrestle.
Yes.
And just know that she's a badass woman, really a badass black woman. We love you, Ember. So before we head out, we just want to say thank you to all of our fans. We have a lot of new things coming your way.
Yes,
a lot. So just pay attention, stay tuned, follow us on all our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Those Wrestling Girls, T Wrestling Girls, everywhere, Spotify, Anchor. Subscribe to us all. And we just want to say thank you, and we love you all. And on that note, I'm your girl, Krista B.
And Queen PR.
And we are out.